Hi guys, Nick J here. Today's video is nothing like the videos you guys are used to getting from me, but after some searching online, I haven't come across any true step-by-step instructions for people who want to start modding Skyrim, but have no experience or knowledge. Most videos assume a certain level of knowledge, but I'm going to take you all the way from a fresh installation to a stable modded Skyrim. At the moment, I only have a fresh install of Skyrim on my desktop, which I haven't even started up yet for video detection. This is the only part of the tutorial that I will skip, because for you to be looking for a video like this, you need to have Skyrim installed already. Also, what I recommend you do is start a new playthrough first before you add any mods. The introduction scene in Skyrim is heavily scripted, and it's not uncommon for mods to cause issues at this point. So start a game, play through the introduction until you are at least out of Helgen, and then we'll take it from there. I'll explain why in a bit. I'm not going to show you guys the whole introduction, but just some bits. So spoiler alert, let's go. We're going to agree to this quick. There we go. Let's detect. For some reason they're not, Skyrim isn't picking up the new chipsets, so we're just going to hit Ultra there. So okay, let's start it up. Okay, so we are through Helgen. The introduction is done. From here we can mod, but what I'm going to do is just going to quickly go to Riverwood, because the mods that we're going to start loading now will display very nicely there. We can see the changes instead of here out in the open where there's nothing. So let's just get to Riverwood quick. Okay, so we are through Helgen, through the introduction, and this is the next stop where the game will start. This is where you're going to get your first real quest, and I'm going to stop here because I just wanted to make it to Riverwood so we can see the differences or the effects that the mods we're going to load now is going to have on the game. So let's do a save. We're going to save here. As you guys can see, this is the first save that I've done. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to save first, and then I'm going to go back to my saves and I'm going to delete all the autosaves. Right, so we're not going to be using those for now. All I want in my save directory, in my Skyrim directory, is the save that I've done now, and this is going to be my vanilla save for the future. The reason we're doing this is that it could happen that a badly scripted mod damages your save games and you want to start over, or sometimes you just want to start a new playthrough, but you don't have to go through the whole Helgen introduction. You can start here. It's basically a new game, but we're already 20 minutes in, so this is 20 minutes of game time that you can skip, because it's just linear scripts. There's nothing you can choose, there's no decisions, it's just a script intro, so we skip that. That's why we save here. Right, let's quit this and get on with modding. Right, so to get modding we're going to need a few tools. Although these tools might be daunting at first, they're actually quite simple and easy to use. We'll go through them step by step, and I'll show you where to download each tool and then go through the installation process of each as well. The two most important tools you're going to be using are the Skyrim Script Extender or SKSE and your Mod Manager. Now, I know I'm probably going to upset quite a few of the more experienced modders out there, but I use Vortex for a Mod Manager. It's the latest manager and it actually does quite a decent job. So let's get those two installed first, and we'll go for SKSE, which is available from silverlock.org. Now you can get SKSE is available on Steam, but I can't get it running. It's for some reason it's giving me problems, and this is the same thing anyway. So you just choose the Skyrim one, depending on which game. If you're using Legendary Edition, you want to get the Classic build, or if you're using Special Edition, you want to get the SE build. I'm just going to get the SE archive, and we're going to download that, and it's going to download into a folder like this, zip file, and you're just going to extract it to the folder. Now what you want to do is you want to copy the contents of this entire folder over to your Skyrim folder. Right, so we're going to select copy. We're going to navigate to our Skyrim folder, which is in Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim. You want to copy it into this folder here. Now, I messed up my copy earlier, and I'm redoing this bit of the video, so I'm going to select paste here, but it's going to tell me that everything is still already there, and we're just going to skip these files. We're just going to skip them, but yours should just copy once off the bat. You just want to get everything in the folder that the SKSE file, you want to get into this folder here. Right, so that's done then, and we can move on to Vortex. Okay, so next we're going to need a mod manager, and for this and for all your mods as well, you just want to go to Nexus Mods. Right, so the address is nexusmods.com, and you're going to have to create an account because this is going to be used to verify your Vortex as well. As you can see, there's a lot of game options to mod, but we're going to go for just going to do Skyrim, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to search for Vortex. Simple as that. It's going to give us the Vortex suggestion there, and you go to the page, and what you can do is just download the latest edition. You can go to files here, and I believe the last update was, yes, 2 days ago. Right, so you can just download this file here, the manual installation, and it will you download it, and we're going to install it. So let's get back to the mods. Right, so that's Vortex, and we're going to install Vortex and take it from there. Right, so the first time you're going to start up Vortex, it's going to ask you to confirm your logon, because it's going to link your, I've done this survey already, it's going to link your Vortex account to your Vortex app. So we're going to log in, and you can say just log in on website. And you're going to authorize it, just going to hit authorize like that, and boom, Vortex is authorized. Right. So what we're going to do now first is choose a game. So we're going to go to games here, and you'll see that I've got Fallout 4, but we want to do Skyrim. Right. So if you're running Skyrim Legendary Edition, this will be highlighted. As you can see, mine is not, but if you're running Skyrim Special Edition, this one will be highlighted. So you're just going to select your game and select Manage. This is going to pop up. It's nothing to worry about. We're going to say fix, and that's it. Right, so now we can go to mods here, and this will be where all the mods that you have installed will be listed here in future. But for now, we're going to close this first, because there's one or two tools that we still need, and we're going to do this now. Okay, now that we've got SKSE and our mod manager installed, we're going to need 3 more tools before we actually start loading mods. The first one we're going to do is Test 5 Edit, and this is also available on Nexus. What you're going to do is if you have a Legendary Edition, you're going to do a search for the Elder Scrolls. You can just get that one there. And if you have Special Edition, you're going to search for SSEEdit. Right, so these are the same, but they're for different versions of the game. Right, you'll see that this is for Skyrim here. Nexus will show you Skyrim, and this is for Skyrim Special Edition. So you're going to download the Special Edition, and this is not software that you're going to be installing, but it's going to be, it's just, you're going to extract it. Let's go to my software folder. Right. So what's going to happen after you've downloaded it is you're going to save it in your location of choice, and you're going to say extract. Right, and all you're going to need are those two tools there. And we're going to say we're going to send them to the desktop as well. Right, we're just going to create shortcuts to our desktop, and that's it. Next one you want to do is loot. Again, just search for loot. That's what you're looking for, and we're going to download that as well. Again, you just hit go to the file section and hit the download button and save it, and then run it. This is the latest one. I downloaded this earlier today. So it's going to install loot. We're going to say next. Make sure we get a desktop icon there. Right, and then loot is installing. But we're not going to run this for now. We're just getting the software ready. We're not going to launch it. Right, and then the last one we're going to do is Wrye bash. Wrong page. We're going to go for Wrye bash. Again, just search for Wrye bash, and we want make sure you get the Special Edition. If you're running Special Edition, again, if you're running Legendary, make sure you get the one that just says Skyrim, but we want the one that says, we want it for Special Edition, so we're going to go Special Edition, hit the files, and you want to get the latest installer. Right, you don't want the source, you don't want the standalone, get the installer, and we're going to download that, and we're simply going to install that as well. Simple installer. We're going to install for Skyrim SE. We're not going to install for Fallout 4 at this point. No extra locations. It's going to give you a warning. It's not a big problem. Just disable your user account control, and there we go. Right. Because your Steam is installed in a program files directory, I recommend you just disable your user account control. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting warnings as you install mods later on. But again, it's not a big problem. Alternatively, you can just install it to a different directory that's not in your program files, but I don't even bother. Right, so we're going to finish the installation, and we're going to close this now. Right, so on my desktop now, I've got all these extra icons. Okay, so this is my original Skyrim launcher there, and now I've got Vortex, I've got SSE, got the edit and the quick clean, and we've got loot. Now we're going to start modding. This is our loader also. We're just going to rename it. Let's rename this to Skyrim SKSE. You can change the icon later if you want. I'm not going to go through the trouble now. But now we're set up, we're going to start downloading some mods. Okay, now that we have got our tools installed, it's time to start downloading some mods and adding them to Vortex. But there's a handful of tools that you're going to want to get straight out of the gates. You're going to need them for almost every other mod that you're going to use. Downloads, most mods will require them, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to get them. You want to go to your mods page in Skyrim Special Edition. It's the same for Legendary or Special, but I'm in Special again. So we're going to go to Popular All Time. Right, so these are, the Skyrim 2020 Parallax is a texture mod. You can skip that, but what you do want is the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. you want force new idols. And for this one, let's just open them up and show you which ones you're going to need. Right, so you've got files there for force new idols or FNIS. You want to get behavior, you want to get the creature pack, and you want to get spells. Get all three of those, download them. And as for the special edition, you're just going to get either the latest one, or if there's only one like this, you're just going to get the one. You're going to get that right off the bat. Right. You also want Sky UI. It's a user interface. You want to download this. I believe there's only one file there as well. Yes, there's only one file there. You want to get that. You want to get XP32 maximum skeleton special extended. You don't want the normal skeleton. You want this one. This is going to be used by quite a bit of mods that use animations. Almost every mod that's using animations are going to require the skeleton. You want to get that. Again, only download the top one here. No need to download all the other versions. You'll see here there's a version 4.7, 7.1, 5.1. These are all old versions, and 7.2 is the latest one at the time of making this. So you want to get that for you as well. Next up, you want to choose a body, right? So there's two different bodies, main bodies that you can choose from. There are a lot more, but the main ones are CBBE, which is this one here, and then there's also UNP. I believe that's on the next page, right? So you want to get a body right off the bat. This is going to customize your bodies, and then you want to also get race menu. Get that because a lot of mods need this, especially any mods that do character alterations will require race menu to be installed. Right, so that's one we want to get. Personally, I've always used CBBE. There's no real difference, I think, between CBBE and UNP. They're both awesome. When I started out, that's the first one I came across, and I just didn't bother to change. Your outfits will be made, usually it's made for either CBBE or UNP, but it's not a big problem because all the decent outfits have been ported to either side as well. So yes, don't worry about that. You can choose CBBE or UNP, whatever you're good with. So I'm just going to go to the next page quickly because there's one other mod that we must have. Okay, popular all time gives us UNP as well, so you can get that if you want. The other one you really want to get is Bodyslide Outfit Studio. Right, you really want to get this because this is where we're going to run any outfits that you get that you're going to process them here to fit the body that you actually chose to use. Right, so because even if you use CBB, there's different body forms that you can use and we can choose. We're going to go through that, but you want to get this as well. And from there on, most of the stuff is to improve. We're going to be installing JK Skyrim in a bit. I think we're going to do the flora overall. It's going to give us a nice difference, and we're also going to do a outfit so we can run Bodyslide as well and show you guys how that works. Right, so I'm going to assume, or we've downloaded that. We're not assuming, we have downloaded that, and I've put all those files that I just covered into one. I forgot to, I'm sorry. Let's see, you're going to need HDT. This is a collision mod, HDT SMP for special edition. You're going to use HDT PE for legendary edition. Right, so you want to get this as well. And the other one you're going to want, because there are a ton of mods using this, is Fuzrodo, the silent voice. Right. This is just for characters that doesn't have custom voices or any voices. This is just so you can see them speak at least, and it won't mess up your game. So you're going to need that as well. Right, so we've got our mods that we need. You're going to want to install this right off the bat. You don't want to start anything else before you do these few. Right, so I'm going to show you guys how we're going to install them right now. Okay, so we're going to open Vortex here. And it's opening up. And then let's just get this to open up. we're going to go to mods, right? You'll see in the top left here, it shows me that I'm on Skyrim Special Edition, and I don't have any mods installed. So we're going to start. These are the mods that I've just covered on Nexus, and we're going to just select them all, and I'm just going to drag them into this area at the bottom that says drop files. Just going to drop them in there, and they are importing. Right, so there we go. I'm just going to select all of them, and we're going to go install in a minute. Actually, no, I'm going to install them, and we'll cover the if there's any conflicts, we'll just cover them as they go. Sometimes, when you're doing installations, you might get conflicts. This is for skeleton. This is just install options. I just leave everything as it is. I don't change anything. As you can see, it's asking what you want to do. There's race menu, like I said, that you need that for almost everything. And from here, I'm just going to go through this and say no, no, no. If you don't know what anything is, just don't select it and just stay on the defaults. Right, we don't have Enderroll installed. Right, so this is just the basic installations. These. Right, FNIS new idols is something that you're going to run whenever you add a mod or remove a mod from your game. Right, you're always going to run this. I'm going to show you where to find that as well in a second. Okay, so there's all our bodies, all our mods. We're just doing the body one still. Right, and I'm probably going to have to blur this out, but we'll do so. It's going to give us a few options. Right, so I prefer the curvy. We're going to go for no underwear. Like I said, I just leave everything as it is except for the trim brows. I'm going to change that. Right, so you want to add your more files as well. This will allow you to change outfits in race menu in-game, and if you change your body, your outfits will change with you. So you want to load the morphs. And it's loading. All of them are done, and we're going to say enable all, enable all. Now this could give a conflict, no conflicts, good. Right, so there's mods that we've just installed into our game. But for, like I said, FNIS new idols, you're going to want to run every time, so we're going to do a shortcut for that as well. So we're going to go back to our Steam directory. We're going to go to Steam Apps, Common, Special Edition, and then we're going to go to Data. Right, and there's a folder that named Tools, and if you open up, there's Generate FNIS for modders and for users. You want to select Users, and you just want to send that file there to your desktop. Right, and that's it. For FNIS, and then you also want to go to Caliente Tools there in your data folder, go to Bodyslide, and just send Bodyslide to the desktop as well. Okay. So that's for our mods. That's your basic mods. We've installed them now. Let's run FNIS new idols quick. Okay. Right, so you want to run this. It's going to pop up a window like this. You want to select skeleton arm fix. You want this because we've got installed a custom skeleton. And then if you have any gender specific animations, we don't now, so you will select those. But usually for most people you will get away with just selecting skeleton, and we're going to say update FNIS behaviors, and it's going to be loading all our animations. You really want to do this every single time you want to run, you want to generate FNIS for users every single time you add or remove a mod. And that's it, it's done. Right, it will give you that. 258 animations successfully included. Right, so we can just hit exit. No, we're not. I've already got one. And that's it for now. Okay, now that we've got some basic mods installed, um, we just need to do loot and SSEEdit quick clean. This is something you're only going to do the first time you set this up. You're not going to do it again. Loot I run only once before I start a new modded game, because it's going to give me it's going to show me which plugins are which plugins have ITM records, and then we're just going to clean those quick. So as you can see, my Skyrim file is clean, but the update ESM has got some ITM records. Right, so what you're going to do is you want to go to the quick clean. Just want to hit the quick clean button icon there. It's going to open up and it's going to ask us, we're not going to show this for a while, just going to close that. Right, so if you remember, loot showed the update ESM, so that's the one we're going to clean first. You're just going to hit that one and only that one, and you're going to say okay, and it's going to run by itself, and we're just going to have to wait until it's finished. Okay, and we're done. Next up, we're going to do Dawn Guard. To do this, what we're going to have to do is just close this, and we're going to open it up again. And we're going to select the Dawn Guard ESM, and we're going to run it again. Just going to wait for it to finish. Okay, so you basically just want to run it. All right. And we're done. You're going to know it's done when it displays all these at the on the left hand side. Then you know it's done, and we're just going to, again, this was Dawn Guard, so we're just going to do the next one, which is Earthfires. Open it again and select that. There we go. This one is always super quick. We're done with Earthfires, and then we're just going to do the last one. We're going to do Dragonborn, and when that is done, we can continue. There we we go. We're done with the quick clean. You will see if I run this again now, it's gonna give me clean ESMs. Right, so we're done with loot and we're done with this. Right, so now I can launch Skyrim, but we haven't got any visual mods installed at the moment. We don't have any clothing mods. We've got nothing that's going to make a big difference right now, so I think we're going to do just some visual mods quick and some clothing so we can do Bodyslide, and then we'll see what Skyrim looks like. Okay, we've installed the tools we need, and we are now ready to get the seriously nice mods out there. So I'm just going to do a few visual ones that will have a big impact on the game, just to demonstrate the difference from where we saved our game last and where we are now. The first one I'm going to do is a clothing mod, and it's by Gigadoo. It's a really nice, I spelled that wrong. It's a super nice mod, clothing mod. So we're going to open that. Some archer clothing. It's a light armor mod. You're going to go to files, and you're going to select the file to download according to your body, right? So I installed the CBBE body earlier, so I'm going to get the CBBE file. If you have the UNP body or the UUNP body, you want to get those files instead. You don't want to get the CBBE if you're running UNP, and you don't want UNP if you're running CBBE, right? So that's the get the folder, the file for whatever body you went with. Next up, we're going to do JK's Skyrim. This is an awesome mod. It's a beautiful mod. It's going to do redo almost all the towns and villages and cities. It just turns it into a beautiful place. You'll see that there's 18 files here. When you install something, just take a read, especially on the description page, right? So you want to read the descriptions first, if there's any patches or any mod incompatibilities that you want or want to avoid. So just read through this. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second, but I'm going to get this file, and that's the one you want. It's the all-in-one. And then if you have any of these installed, you want to get the patch, right? So I am going to be installing Realistic Water 2 just now as well. So I want to get the patch, click there and get the patch for this as well, right? So like I said, we want to do Realistic Water 2. This is a beautiful water mod. We want to get that as well. And this is going to change the appearance of water. And then lastly, for now, we're going to do the Skyrim Flora overall for SE. This is going to change the appearance of the trees, of the grass, of everything, and it's just going to give us a nice look, especially in the forested areas. So we want to get the overall, the complete one, and then again, if there's any patches you need to check or read the description page. Usually everything will be, if there's any issues or stuff with the mod, you can get this here. Just take some time and read, and usually you can avoid a lot of problems then. Right, so we're going to do these mods quick. So I've already downloaded them, but we're going to start up Vortex. Okay, so again, same as with the previous mods that we did install, we're going to just select all the mods we want, and we're going to drop them in there. It's going to import them, and once it's done, we're just going to select them all, and we're going to say install. Right, so It's going to install all of them. If there's any options, like Realistic Water 2, it's going to ask for a few options. Then it will pop up as it's installing. You select through your options. You want the core files, yes. I'm not going to change anything here for now. That's it. It's got to do for Skyrim as well, the Flora overall. There we go. We're going to enable all of them. And if you see, BJ, it says it's going to be adjusting FNIS behavior, and we can confirm it, but this is the reason. You can just say continue, and this is why you have to run FNIS every time after you installed or removed any mods. Doesn't matter if it's an animation mod or not. We just did clothing and visual here, but we're still going to change those files. So we're going to close Vortex. We're going to generate this. Just hit the OK button because we did set up the skeleton arm earlier. Just going to generate it. And then after this, we're going to run Bodyslide quick. There, we're done. Behavior is updated. And we're just going to leave that there. Okay, and we're going to do Bodyslide quick. Okay, so I kind of forgot that the Gigadoo outfit does not, I don't have the Bodyslide files for that, so I'm just going to install a different mod quick. It's also a clothing mod. It's one of the mods by Deserted X. So let's get those. It is the Witch Hunter outfit. Now this is actually a bit better to explain. This was built for the UNP body. Right, so if you load this on a CBBE body, if you download this file and you load it, you will have clipping, or you will have it might not look nice. You know, it might not look decent. So what you want to get is the CBBE body slide for the same outfit. So you want to get both these files, and I've got them, and we're going to install them quick. We're just going to go to mods, and we're going to add those two because I really want to show you guys just how to run Bodyslide as well. It's super simple. So we want to install those two. Select them, install them. Just wait for both to finish. We're going to say enable all, and it's done. Okay, so now we can cover conflicts as well. Okay, so this is the behavioral warning. So now it's telling me that there's unresolved conflicts, and this is what makes Vortex really nice in my opinion. I don't have to worry about my load order that much anymore, but I just need to get the conflicts right. So it's telling me that there's conflict between these two. So both of these want to load, and it can only load one, right? So what's going to happen here is I know that I've got the CBBE body slide, so I want this one to be in game, so it must load after the UNP version, right? So we get the files from the UNP version, we convert them to body slide, and this is what I want in game. So I want body slide after. So all I need to say is my body slide one it's going to go after, and Vortex actually suggests to me that it needs to be after as well. Most of the time this will be spot on. So I'm just going to select after, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to deploy it again, and that's it. Okay, so that's how you resolve conflicts in Vortex. It's really super simple. You just need to pause and think which are the ones that you actually want in game, and that's the one that loads after. So we're going to close this, we're going to close this, and we're going to run Bodyslide quick. Right, so you're going to select your body here, you're going to select your preset, and you're going to hit build. This builds your body, not your outfits, right? This just builds your body. So if you change this, every time you change this, you will have to select build as well, and then you need to run Bodyslide for your outfits. Okay, so for this, we're going to hit Witcher. If you put, whatever you put in there will filter into the batch build, so we're going to select batch build there. Why are these not filtering? Oh, I wrote that wrong. Okay, so It's Witch Hunter, but I see there's also CBBE bodies that we're going to change. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run them all quick, and then we're just going to hit build, and it's going to ask us a few options. We're going to go to body physics, and if you'll see here that everything has got physics selected already. This is what you want usually, and you're just going to say OK, and there we go. It's busy building this, all the outfits to fit with the 7 base body that I chose, the preset that I chose. So all the outfits in the game is now being adjusted to fit this body here. So we're just going to let this finish. Almost done. All sets processed successfully. We can close this. We're just going to run this quick because I did some changes. We're going to say update. And once this is done, we are ready to launch Skyrim, and we can enjoy the mods that we loaded. Right, so this is done and we're ready to play. Okay, so our mods are loaded and we're going to start up Skyrim, and we should see the changes immediately. There we go. On a side note, Steam will disable all achievements if you're running mods, and you're going to get a message telling you this. There we go. Achievements are disabled, but we'd like to carry on. Thank you.
Dragons now, is it? Please, Mother.
There we go. We can immediately see that the layout of the town has changed, and my MCM is registering 2 new menus and another one. Right, so this is new. This has been changed by JK Skyrim, and this is new. So we can see that our mods have taken effect. Let's see what the water looks like. Water looks good, a lot better than the vanilla. We do have some trees extra as well, which is awesome. Right. Okay, that's just a couple of plain mods or small mods. We can do it. We can actually do it a bit better. I'm pretty sure we can get it to look better than it does at the moment. But our mods are working, which is all we need to know. So we can quit here. Right, so at this point we've got our mods working, and we can start adding mods, and we can look and test, look for mods on the Nexus, and we can test some mods. But what I'm going to do quick is load all my default mods, and we're going to start Skyrim up again to see what it looks like. I'm just going to repeat the whole procedure. I'm not going to show this, but I'm going to repeat the whole procedure that we did here. We're going to open Vortex, import all the mods that I'm using. We're going to use generate my FNIS data, and we're going to use Bodyslide to create all the outfits, and then we're going to start it up. Okay, so back in a bit. Okay, so I've gone and added a few mods, and I'm ready to play. I've ran my Bodyslide, I've ran my FNIS generator, and we're good to go. I'm just going to show you guys one last thing, especially if you are playing on Legendary Edition. As you can see, these are the ones we started out with, but I've got quite a few loaded up in the meantime, and we're going to do all these. It's going to run smoothly, and I'm going to show you guys. The more mods you've got, the higher the chances are that some of them might clash. So what we need to do is just create a merged patch. And this is insanely simple to do if you just follow these easy steps. And that's why we have SSEEdit. And if you remember, we installed Wrye bash So we're just going to navigate to Wrye bash here, and we're going to say just open file location. This opens up to the installation, and we're just going to send that to desktop. So we've got a shortcut on our desktop as well. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to run SSEEdit quickly. Just going to open it up. This is different from the quick clean. For SSEEdit, we're just going to select everything. So we hit OK, and it's going to load every mod that we've got loaded or that we have got installed. Here goes the list. And it's going to load. Out of interest sake, if you ever see, let's see if we can get this up quickly. If you ever search for a mod and it shows you, if you're looking for a reference number or an ID number of an item or an NPC, and it shows you a number with an XX in front. Let's see, general discussion. Let's see if we can find somewhere where they give us an example. This is for the patch called Interesting NPCs. I just want to find out where there was one where they had a problem with some NPCs and they give you the let's just open up one or two quick. No number there. Like this, where they give you a reference ID and a base ID for an NPC. For instance, the first two digits would be XX. Right. Those two digits will be the number in your SSEEdit. That's the number that you've got there. So for interesting NPCs, let me see if I can find it quickly. It's somewhere. We just click OK when it does that. Interesting NPCs is called 3D NPC. Let's see if we can find it real quick and we can get its number. I'm looking over it now. Be as it may. So if you find let's say it was in that slot there, 3E, then your number there would be 3E053. Okay, so that's what those numbers are if you need to find an item. This is for items from mods. If it's from the original Skyrim, you won't have a number. It will be 00 or but if you have, like I said, if it's from a different mod, you can just use that number and it will use the number. Okay, so we've loaded our we've opened up SSEEdit and let it load everything. So we're going to right click anywhere here. We're just going to right click and we're going to go to other, and we're going to say create merged batch. Right, it's going to give you a warning that it's unsupported. Just click yes and give your merged batch a name. So I'm going to always make mine Niku merged batch. Right, so it's going to take a second and it's going to be available at the bottom. There we go. Right, so you want to right click on that and you want to say clean masters, and yes, I am absolutely sure. Then you're going to hit the plus sign. You want to expand this. The more mods you have, the more items there may be or may not be. But what you want to do is you want to delete the leveled item and leveled NPC lists. So we're going to right click on leveled item and we're going to hit remove. Yes, we're going to hit leveled NPC and we're going to hit remove. The reason why we're doing this is although SSEEdit does a pretty good job at handling leveled items, Wrye bash does a much better job, and we're going to run this through Wrye bash quickly as well. So that's it. We close this and we say backup plugins. Make sure that's ticked and you say OK. and we're going to start Wrye bash up. This is going to create our bashed batch. Say that 10 times quick. That's fine. Okay, so we've got all our mods listed here. I'm going to tick Niku's merge batch there just to activate it, and then I'm going to right click on bashed batch. This should be always be at the bottom. So you're just going to right click on it and say rebuild batch, and don't change anything, just say build batch. This takes a while, unfortunately, but it's worth it. This will stabilize your game in ways that you won't believe. If you've got a crash to desktop, if you've got a CTD, especially in Legendary Edition, if you're having problems and you haven't done this, do this before you do anything else. Right, there we go. It's finishing up and it's done. So we just click OK here, and we do want to activate it, say yes, and that's it. We can close that, and we're going to start up our game. So let's go for that. You will also immediately note that my font is different. I like this font. This is one of the fonts that I always install on my games. So we're going to continue. It should complain again, yes, about the achievements being disabled because we're loading the same saved game still. Look at the texture on that shield. Oh, this is beautiful. So let's see what our game looks like. We don't have any ENBs loaded at the moment. Lots of tutorials on that out there. You can go have a look. But this should not look too bad, even without the ENBs.
Dragons now, isn't it? Please, mother.
And
If you
that's
keep on
a
like this,
massive
I'm gonna
difference.
tell you you're crazy. And I've got better things to do than listen to more of your fantasies.
You'll see. It was a dragon. It'll
Right,
kill us
we've
all,
got
and
some
then you'll
awesome
believe
textures. We've got some super flora in the area. Our NPCs are looking better. Hello, Secret.
Not used to strangers here in Riverwood.
Right, you'll see on the top left all my mods that's being activated at the moment. You can see your mods in your MCM menu. There we go, mod configuration. There's some of the mods loaded. Yeah, you can set this, change these settings for most of them. For instance, this one, depending on the mod, if they do have a menu, some don't. So you can change your details there. But yes, this looks a lot better. Let's go to, and I've also loaded what is probably the best follower mod ever, in my opinion, anyway, which is Recorder, everybody's favorite
How's it going?
goal. Right,
You
guys,
look
so
ready to
that's
take on just about anything.
how you mod
Wish I
Skyrim,
could say the same for
how
myself.
to get a stable game from here. Unless you add any more mods, or if you take any mods away, you won't be doing any of this again. You're only going to be doing, you're only going to be running and playing your game from here. There's nothing else to do. You've done, we finished, unless we add some more stuff. But for now, I think this is looking good. And yes, I hope this helps. I hope this helped a bunch of you guys out there. Those of you that were struggling to get your mods up and running and struggling to get them stable, I hope this helps you. And that's it from me. Have a good one. Cheers.